substances out here are wiping out my friends, man. It is so deeply addictive that it takes over your entire biology within days. I have a heavy habit. I use substances just to keep the terror away. Look down these blocks. The streets are completely desolate right now. Some of the guys I used to share a blanket with are dead. Some are locked up in county jail. There's absolutely no sanitation out here. We don't even have a trash bin or a public toilet. We aren't asking for a handout. We just desperately need to be told where we can legally go so we don't have to pack up our entire world and move every single morning. Just give us a designated piece of dirt, somewhere safe, so we can rest without constant harassment. Welcome to Homeless U.S. News. Every single morning, a staggering 187,000 human beings across California wake up with no front door to lock. More than 123,000 of them, over two-thirds of the entire displaced population, are completely unsheltered. They are living on freezing concrete sidewalks, huddled beneath sprawling freeway overpasses, trapped inside fragile nylon tents along busy city streets, and surviving in the literal shadows of multi-million-dollar luxury high-rises. This is a hidden reality playing out daily across California. Thousands of men, women, and families are quietly fighting a war for survival in the wealthiest and most iconic state in America. What specific economic breakdowns brought them to this pavement amid all this promise and plenty? What do their everyday struggles really look like beneath the California sun? Today, we are stepping straight into the heart of this crisis, right here in the Golden State. We are bypassing political theater to bring you the raw, unfiltered truth. If you believe these human stories deserve a platform, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. Let's walk these streets together. Drop a comment below right now. How does it feel to know that thousands of families are sleeping in the dirt just blocks away from Hollywood? Let's uncover the truth. Part 1. The anatomy of the numbers, the 2026 reality. To truly understand what is happening in California, you have to look past the beautiful tourist brochures and analyze the massive scale of human displacement. According to the latest official data from the 2025 and 2026 point-in-time counts, there are over 131,000 individuals documented as experiencing homelessness across 29 major service regions. While local politicians frequently highlight a modest 4.3% overall decline and celebrate an 8.9% drop in the unsheltered population as the largest single-year improvement in over 15 years, the reality on the ground remains incredibly severe. These percentages offer little comfort to the thousands still trapped on the asphalt. The concentration of this crisis is heaviest in the state's urban economic engines. Los Angeles County alone accounts for a staggering 72,195 people, while San Diego County stands at over 9,900 individuals. These figures are not just cold ink on a government report. They are living, breathing human beings. They are the tents lined up beneath the concrete overpasses of the 101 freeway. They are the worn, damp blankets stretched along downtown sidewalks. They are the lone figures pushing overloaded shopping carts through the early morning fog before the city wakes up. In the shadows of massive glass office towers, luxury apartment complexes, and busy tech cafes, thousands of citizens begin their day without a key to turn. They have no private room to breathe, no functional kitchen to prepare a meal, and no safe wall between their bodies and the dangers of the outside world. The city keeps moving around them, traffic humming, digital screens glowing, and people rushing to high-paying jobs, while the unsheltered population carries a chronic, crushing exhaustion. Many of these individuals once had steady employment, houses, credit scores, and long-term plans. Now, they're surviving at the absolute margins of the very same cities they used to build. When the numbers finally become faces we cannot ignore, it challenges the very soul of the American dream. It is a sobering reality that forces us to look past our biases and look with absolute clarity at the fragility of stability in our society today. Part 2. Expulsion from the metropolitan rhythm. One of the most heartbreaking truths in California is the absolute velocity at which an ordinary, working-class life can be completely expelled from the city's rhythm. According to comprehensive data from the California Housing Partnership, there is a current shortfall of more than 1.2 million affordable homes for extremely low-income households across the state. In major metropolitan hubs like Los Angeles and San Francisco, a basic, no-frills one-bedroom apartment routinely rents for over $2,800 a month. Contrast that with the reality that millions of service workers and low-income families are forced to survive on less than $18,000 a year. This massive economic chasm is what quietly pushes people off the cliff. It rarely begins with dramatic personal failure. More often, it starts with a series of small, familiar financial shocks. It's sudden corporate layoff, a sudden rent hike, or a single unexpected emergency room bill. At first, people deploy every survival strategy they have. They exhaust their micro savings, they borrow from family, they couch surf with friends, or they move into their vehicles. But as the months drag on, those fragile, temporary safety nets begin to dissolve under the weight of chronic poverty. Without a permanent physical address, finding or maintaining employment becomes an impossible obstacle. Important mail, like healthcare notices or job interview callbacks, is lost in the ether. Even the simplest daily routines of self-care become exhausting logistical challenges. Finding a place to wash your face, a clean restroom, a functional outlet to charge a phone, or a single night of secure sleep turns into a full-time mission that drains every ounce of human energy. Nights become a terrifying search for a safe patch of dirt to lie down, while days are spent navigating a complex social service bureaucracy that is already stretched to its absolute breaking point. Across California, hundreds of ordinary citizens wake up every single morning carrying the deep, quiet grief of a life that once felt secure, now completely unanchored on the pavement of their own hometowns. Part 3. The Vortex of Chemical Escape. We cannot present an honest, comprehensive documentary on the California housing crisis without looking directly at the devastating impact of potent synthetic substances that have flooded the streets. According to University of California's statewide study of people experiencing homelessness, an estimated 35% of adults on the street report regular substance use. Methamphetamine remains highly prevalent, affecting 32% of the population, while 11% report regular opioid use, with synthetic fentanyl now completely dominating the chemical crisis on the sidewalks. In heavily impacted neighborhoods like Los Angeles' Skid Row, San Francisco's Tenderloin, and downtown San Diego, these low-cost substances are manufactured to be intensely addictive and are often used openly in public spaces. For a human being trapped in the trauma of homelessness, the street corner becomes both an open shelter and a predatory marketplace. While a small percentage of individuals hit the pavement with pre-existing addictions, the data reveals that a massive portion of the population turns to these chemical escapes after they lose their housing, deploying them as a desperate coping mechanism to numb the physical pain of hunger, the freezing night air, and the psychological terror of living exposed to violence. Once caught in this vortex, the quicksand of the street pulls the individual down with immense force. Without a safe, private room to rest, detox, or think clearly, the basic infrastructure recovery cannot exist. Simple tasks like eating nutritious meals, maintaining personal hygiene, keeping track of social service appointments, or reaching out for professional medical help become completely impossible when the human body is in a state of chronic withdrawal and the mind is focused entirely on surviving the next few hours. Hundreds of our neighbors wake up each morning already locked in this invisible internal warfare. It is a biological trap magnified by the environment of the sidewalk, proving that you cannot successfully treat a public health crisis when the patient's only recovery bed is a piece of cardboard on a concrete alleyway. Part 4. The battlefield of untreated minds. One of the most painful and severely neglected layers of the California crisis is the absolute collapse of mental well-being among the unsheltered population. According to the University of California's comprehensive data, a staggering 66% of displaced adults are currently living with active, severe mental health conditions. This is an invisible emergency of historic proportions. More than half of these individuals battle chronic, severe anxiety that keeps their nervous system locked in a permanent state of survival alarm. Nearly half endure profound, paralyzing depression that completely drains every ounce of human energy, hope, and willpower. Furthermore, 37% of these individuals struggle daily with cognitive challenges, experiencing severe difficulty concentrating or remembering basic details, while 12% face active hallucinations that blur the line between reality and internal psychological turmoil. In regions like Santa Clara County, the data reveals that 24% of the over 10,000 people counted on the streets are living with a profound mental illness that deeply impairs their ability to function within society. Without stable shelter, these delicate psychiatric conditions do not just exist, they intensify into a form of slow, daily mental torture. Imagine experiencing a severe panic attack while standing on a concrete median surrounded by speeding traffic and glaring streetlights, with absolutely no quiet corner to sit down, close your eyes, and calm your racing heart. Imagine trying to fight a deep clinical depression when the ground beneath you is damp dirt and the world looks at you with open disgust. The lack of stability means that critical psychiatric medications are frequently lost, stolen, or ruined by exposure to the elements. Access to consistent, trauma-informed therapy becomes a complete fantasy when you don't even have a mailbox or a stable schedule. The human body is forced to stay in emergency survival mode 24 hours a day, turning already fragile minds into a violent battlefield with absolutely no walls for protection. This is the raw reality for thousands of citizens in communities like Riverside and Kern County. Minds that are completely exhausted long before the physical battle of the day even begins. Part 5. The Displacement Cycle, Policy versus Pavement. For the tens of thousands of human beings living without shelter in California, one of the most exhausting and demoralizing realities is the constant implementation of short-term cleanup policies that prioritize moving the visible signs of poverty rather than curing the root causes. State transportation and municipal records reveal that during a single brief stretch between January and early February, agencies like Caltrans removed nearly 600 established encampments across the Bay Area district alone. In Los Angeles, city administrators set a massive target to clear 9,800 active encampments as part of localized resolution programs across multiple counties. These high-cost operations successfully clear the sidewalks for a few hours, moving hundreds of people from one block to another. But because permanent, affordable housing and comprehensive medical support are not in place to receive these individuals, the data shows that the vast majority return to the exact same sites or scatter into adjacent residential neighborhoods within weeks. For the individual living inside the tent, each clearance is not a solution. It is a chaotic, traumatizing reset that strips away the few fragile pieces of security they have managed to hold on to. When a sanitation crew arrives, a nylon tent that offered a tiny shred of privacy is confiscated and destroyed. Personal belongings, clothing, shoes, phone chargers, critical medical prescriptions, legal identification papers, and irreplaceable family mementos are regularly lost or thrown into garbage compactors. The quiet, survival routines that an unsheltered person tried to build, like knowing exactly where to find a clean drop of water or a safe corner to rest without drawing predator attention, are instantly erased. Hours turn into days of exhausting wandering, carrying everything they own in heavy bags. forced to start their survival mission over from absolute zero, with less trust in the system and less physical energy than before. This endless game of geographic displacement turns poverty into a revolving door, proving that hiding the suffering from public view does nothing but deepen the trauma and push stable recovery further out of reach. Part 6. The mobilization of local kindness. In the middle of this systemic failure, the most powerful and consistent force working to keep human beings alive comes from the grassroots mobilization of community groups, faith-based teams, and social organizations. The data from Santa Clara County's point-in-time count reveals an inspiring truth. Hundreds of ordinary volunteers mobilize across the region to directly serve the unsheltered community. What is most profound is that nearly 38% of these volunteers drew directly from their own lived experience of homelessness, deploying their personal histories of survival to connect with those still trapped on the asphalt. We see the same massive wave of community responsibility rising in San Bernardino County, where over 550 local residents stepped forward, and in Kern County, where nearly 500 neighbors dedicated their time to the front lines. These are not distant, cold corporate charities. These are local citizens, neighborhood churches, and independent nonprofit teams who choose to show up consistently in the dark alleys and riverbeds. They bring hot, homemade meals, mobile hygiene trailers, clean clothing, basic medical supplies, and patient, long-term case management. For a human being surviving without any shelter, these grassroots teams often represent the only predictable anchor in a world defined by chaos and danger. After an exhausting night spent exposed to the weather, the noise, and the constant threat of assault, a simple hot plate of food handed over with genuine respect can restore a fragile sense of humanity. The daily weight of carrying your entire life in a plastic bag, searching for a place to use a bathroom, and being completely ignored by thousands of passers-by slowly erodes the will to live. But when a local volunteer remembers your name, asks about your health without judgment, or shares a story of their own recovery, it reopens a door to hope that felt permanently welded shut. This shared human effort proves that the solution to homelessness does not start with cold architecture. It starts when ordinary communities choose to look at the person on the pavement and see a neighbor who belongs to the family of man. Part 7. The architecture of integration. Housing as healthcare. The most meaningful and effective advance taking shape across California is the rapid expansion of initiatives that treat stable housing and comprehensive healthcare as a single, inseparable intervention. Through the state's Cal-AM Housing Support Network, which funds transition navigation, security deposits, and long-term tenancy-sustaining care, more than 75,000 displaced individuals received direct, integrated housing assistance during a single recent fiscal stretch, with those numbers climbing steadily. In Los Angeles County, funding from Proposition 1 is being deployed to actively convert vacant commercial buildings and abandoned motels into beautiful, integrated care communities. These modern campuses deliver permanent supportive housing units directly paired with on-site mental health treatment beds and professional medical clinics. Similar integrated programs are expanding across Riverside and San Bernardino counties, recognizing that you cannot realistically cure a chronic medical condition or support psychological recovery while the patient is forced to sleep in the dirt. for a person who has spent years unsheltered. The physical reality of homelessness is a medical emergency. There is no clean place to store insulin, no quiet room to recover from a surgical procedure, and no functional way to maintain a schedule for life-saving prescriptions. Chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease, hepatitis, and severe physical infections grow rapidly under constant exposure to rain, heat, and exhaust fumes. Every ounce of human energy is consumed by the daily mechanics of survival, carrying your heavy gear from block to block, searching for food, and staying visible to outreach workers while avoiding danger. When housing and professional medical support are finally integrated, the transformation is immediate. A real front door with a lock allows the human nervous system to finally leave fight or flight mode. The body can finally rest, medications stay on schedule, and comprehensive therapy becomes reachable. It is a holistic approach that moves past temporary band-aids, proving that when we invest in a person's complete humanity, we create a stable foundation where true recovery can finally take root. Outro, the mirror of the Golden State. As our journey through the streets, the alleys, and the hidden encampments of California comes to a close, we are left with a powerful reality that is impossible to look away from. The Golden State stands at a critical historical turning point. The latest data proves that real progress is possible when we stop criminalizing poverty and start investing in human beings. Reflected in the recent 9% drop in unsheltered homelessness, the most significant single-year improvement the state has seen in over 15 years. Across major counties, thousands of our fellow citizens are finally stepping off the concrete and into stable, dignified lives because systems have learned to treat them as whole people. But for the thousands who are still out there tonight, huddled on the sidewalks of Los Angeles, Sacramento, and San Francisco, the weight of the street remains crushing. They are facing another long, dangerous night exposed to the elements, with no door to close, no quiet space to rest their minds, and no certainty about tomorrow. They are not characters in a political debate. They are our mothers, our fathers, our sons, and our veterans. Their resilience in the face of such absolute hardship is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. But they should not have to be superheroes just to stay alive on the streets of the wealthiest nation on earth. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for staying with us through this extensive, raw documentary on homeless U.S. News. In a digital world where attention spans are measured in split seconds, your choice to sit with these difficult truths from the very first sentence to the final word carries immense human value. You are no longer just a viewer. You are a witness to the reality of our neighbors. If this journey has touched your heart, challenged your assumptions, or made you look at the streets of your own city with kinder eyes, please take a brief moment right now to smash that like button. It takes less than a second, but it tells the algorithm that deep, compassionate journalism matters, helping this message reach thousands of more minds who need to see the truth. If you want to continue walking with us through the hidden corners of America and bringing light to the stories that are too often pushed into the shadows, hit subscribe to Homeless U.S. News and turn on that notification bell. We want to hear your voice. What part of this documentary hit you the hardest? Have you noticed the crisis shifting in your own community? Let's start an honest, deeply respectful conversation in the comments section below. We read every single thought you share. Let's keep our empathy alive, reject indifference, and remember that we're all much closer to each other than the world wants us to believe. Stay warm, stay safe, and we will see you in the next story on Homeless U.S. News.